Did you miss me? I know you did. This is Enjoy It While It Lasts. I'm your host, Herman Faust, and I'm back to regularly scheduled programming. After last week's, well, I guess I'll just say unplanned absence. I do apologize. I meant to release a chill and a deep dive last week. However, I just got a bit overwhelmed and behind on the schedule, and it being that time of year where things are just all in flux and the kids are around nonstop and I don't know what day it is and I make more promises than I should to them. And it all added up to me being too tired and too consumed to be able to record and put out the episodes I intended last week. That being said, now that we are into the new year, I am fully prepared and committed to be able to stay on my regular release schedule and have 3 episodes per week per the normal schedule and keep it that way, at least for a while, before we have to take any other breaks. Today's episode is a chill. It's going to be a personal check-in. I'm going to tell you about my December, my holidays, and a couple of things that happened with my family. And of course, with any personal check-in, I'm going to be looking ahead at what's to come for me and for the show. So I'm going to start earlier in the month, and then I'm going to work my way forward. And so the first thing I'm going to go back to is in mid-December, we ended up taking a trip to a lake house we went to go rent for the weekend because we were celebrating the fact that my wife was having her graduation ceremony and getting her doctorate degree. So the kids got to also, as part of this trip, we went to the ceremony, of course, and the kids got to watch, first they got to watch their first graduation ceremony, and all of that entails the excitement in the beginning, the fun for them at first of seeing everybody march in, and then the ongoing names, and there's still more names. And how much longer are we here, Dad? But most importantly, they got to have their moment of hearing my wife's name called, seeing her walk across stage. They got to cheer for her. They got to really solidify it in their brains, the accomplishment aspect, the fact that their mom is not in school. They've known that she's been in school doing work on her computer, and now they actually get to see, this is the camp. There is a building attached to this. You being in school. It doesn't just mean you sitting on the computer the same as you at work. And we talked to them a little bit about what the different degrees are, and they just got to have a actual context memory attached to the idea of knowing that, mommy's a doctor now, Dr. Mommy. My wife's parents went along on the trip, and so of course on the graduation ceremony as well. And I want to talk about my father-in-law just for a second here because the conversation was pretty funny to me on the way in the car, on the way there before the graduation, and then again after too. He clearly is proud of his daughter, and they're very supportive people, very supportive parents, and he wants to be able to brag about her to his siblings or to whoever he's talking to. But he's also doesn't quite have the understanding of it himself to know what exactly this degree means. It took a while for him to fully even digest that she would legitimately be called doctor professionally. Because, we have to joke with him that you still can't ask her what medicine to take. You still got to go to your other doctor for that. But that's, of course, a way overplayed doctor joke that anybody that gets their PhD probably hears a million times. Luckily, in our household, my wife likes hearing the same jokes over and over. So we can keep making fun of her about her doctorate over and over with that. But for him, he understood that when she first graduated college, that was something, and that she was then able to go on and be a teacher. And he understood that when she graduated with her master's degree, that allowed her to be able to go on and become a principal. but he was trying to get the understanding of like, okay, well, what door does this unlock? What does this do for you now that you have this degree? And the way that it kind of broke down for him of how he understood it was he's basically like, who do you tell what to do now? Who can you tell? Who can you talk to and be? You're an expert in this, okay? Well, Who does that? What does that mean? Who do you talk to? And the best way we could get for him to understand it, basically, is that she can now consult principals or tell principals what to do. Um, he takes it as, okay, you got when you get your first degree, you were able to tell students what to do. You got your second degree, you could tell teachers what to do. Now with this degree, you could tell principals what to do. And I think that's the easiest way for him to be able to feel his pride and understand what exactly it means. But because honestly, as my wife and me both have joked about and talked about, like, well, what do we do? What are you going to do with it now? Now what? It's not like we even have a perfect answer. So that's the best answer that I think if he lands on that, that's a fine answer. But yeah, we had a whole weekend trip for it, and a friend joined us as well, and she brought her dog, and her dog is basically, we call her dog our kid's cousin. So all the cousins got to play together and go swimming in the little lake that was next to the house. Me and my daughters got into a raft that I was a paddle boat. I don't know, a kayak, I guess is the right word, I should say, and paddled out into the lake. And I got us turned around. It was a little bit bigger than I thought, although and it never really was like far away from the house. But I definitely did not take a good mental image of the rental house to know which dock was our dock and which house was our house. So we got turned around and ended up on the water a little bit longer than we wanted to be, and not super long. We were only trying to figure out which house was ours for about 20 extra minutes before we ended up having to just pull up to the land nearby and ask somebody that was passing by outside I borrowed their phone because I had left my phone in the house and had my wife come pick us up. We were like a couple blocks away from the house. So it's not like we got far, but my daughters sure like now to have that. They've already referenced it a ton of times, and that's going to be a core memory for them, the time that Dad got us lost in the lake. So that happened. It also became the trip. It was also the trip that my son realized that he loves foosball. They had a foosball table in the house, and he was surprised that I even knew how to play. I explained to him how I was a kid in summer camp once, that basically the main thing we did there was you try to get on the foosball table and run it and stay there. But of course, him being a kid and me being dad, he had to challenge and be shown that he absolutely could not play with me on even if I'm trying full speed, and before he would listen and take any advice I try to give him. But he ended up trying to get everybody at the house to play with him and trying to set up a tournament, and it was clearly his favorite thing about the house and the weekend, though. Moving forward in the calendar from there, the next big thing that happened for us was my son's birthday. The last couple years, all three of my kids have decided and begged for and got a birthday party. And this year, their birthdays fall in December, February, and March. So we're hoping that Armin's birthday being the first since of them being bunched together, will set a trend that the other two will follow his lead, because he decided he did not want a birthday party this year. He wanted to go back to the way we had previously celebrated, where whoever's birthday it is, they get to have a day where mom and dad just pretty much take them wherever you want to go, and we just do whatever you want to do. Turns out that is way cheaper and way less effort than cooking for a whole bunch of people and getting a bounce house and cleaning up before and after as well. Hopefully the kids still enjoy that more and they don't take into account that, hey, if I have a party, I get more presents. At least for now, though, that's what he chose, and he wanted to go karting. So we took him to an Andretti indoor. It had a go kart, and it's like a whole activity center where there's go karting, VR games, regular arcade games, all that kind of stuff, laser tag, and let him pick out which of the ones he wanted to do. So he did. He got to have his fun with his laser tag, with his VR and everything. But he spent about an almost an hour on this one particular Minecraft arcade video game that had me and my wife definitely staring at each other a couple times, just like there wasn't even a place for us to like go sit down and let him run and play. Like we were pretty much just there standing and watching him play, which he liked. He liked that we were watching him play, but it definitely got it dragged for us a bit. But all we had to do was remind ourselves that we're not having to clean up after 40 kids after this is done, and it was worth it. He loved the fact too, because I got on the go karts with him. He was able to drive for himself for the first time. He was super excited about that, and he was even more excited about the fact that he had the second fastest lap time when he came out, and he saw that my lap time was the slowest, and he would not. He keeps on. Now all of a sudden he's thinking that he knows how to drive our car. He knows how to drive better than me. That he is a full motorist, and now he likes to say that I drive like an old granny and I'm the slowpoke. But damn it, they have those carts set to go slow. I am heavier than all those kids. I was not on a fully full throttle car. I was clearly being stopped and drugged down. I even had a time where my cart turned completely off and they had to come out and restart my cart for me. So I was clearly cheated and held back, but he won't take that into account. And now he won't shut up about it either. Anyway, that brings us to Christmas. Our kids actually get several chapters of Christmas. On Christmas Eve, we celebrate with my wife's side of the family. So that's where they get their big get together with all their cousins. They get their Secret Santa gifts, and it's a whole big thing. We ended up staying out. This year, we ended up not leaving their house until 1 a.m. Definitely stayed up. Definitely ate more and drank more than we should have, and was exhausted by the time we got home. But luckily, at least because it's so tiring, the kids have burned off all their excitement, and they're not used to staying up anywhere close to that late, so they go to sleep pretty quickly. They did, at least. And this year, we were able to sleep in on Christmas morning until about 8:30 before we had to get up. That by itself was a big win for us. This year was not as flashy for our kids as far as our gifts to them as the last couple of years. Like 2 years ago, we got them the PlayStation, let them start playing video games regularly for the first time. Last year, we got them all brand new bikes and skates as well. This year, we didn't have any big major things, so we just had a bunch of things that the kids like. Some personalized, some we have to get multiples of just so they don't fight. I think we did good though, because in the now almost 2 weeks since Christmas Day, they've actually been playing with lots of different toys and not just completely discarded everything by the second day. So I think that while we didn't get anything super big around the house or super flashy for them, I think that we got them stuff that they enjoy and is at least lasting a little bit. But after that, then the kids also get another chapter of Christmas with first set of grandparents come over. Then they get another set when next set with my mom and my brothers come over. And this most recent year, their last chapter was just closed. My sister brought her daughter and husband over, and they got to have one more little bonus Christmas right before they went back to school. The day itself is like, I love Christmas. I love the Christmas season. I love buying gifts. But around, I don't know, 3 p.m. at Christmas, I am pretty much just glad to feel like it's over. It's, of course, just so draining. It especially doesn't help the fact that I'm probably hungover and sleep deprived from the night before. We did get our kids still a big gift. That was our big gift to them. And this year it was season passes to Six Flags. So I've already had to go once. I'll get into that a little bit later in the episode in just a minute. Um, but that's definitely going to be one of those. We planned on doing it, but I liked adding it to their Christmas gifts and not waiting to make it feel more special and big because it definitely takes up a lot of days throughout the year. We get our money's worth of having that pass. So real quick though, before I tell you about our first trip to Six Flags and all of the other things that has taken up my time and taken my time away from the podcast, um, I'll tell you how we brought in the new year because last year was our first year letting our kids actually stay up until midnight and us making a thing of it. We had our friend come over last year, and she came over again this year. Brought our brought her dog, brought our kid's cousin along to hang out, and make a whole night of it. You know, get an extra party tray snacks, let the kids eat some extra treat food that they wouldn't normally get, and drink. I tried to offer them mocktails for the first time, and I tried making them several different versions of different mixtures that I could give them, and I even tried letting them have some of the sparkling grape juice, fake champagne, but they ended up all just two of them wanted a just regular juice. Gabby, my middle daughter, is the only one that she didn't like any of the mocktails I made her, but she did like the sparkling grape juice. But of course, like we made them nap, we napped, we all got through the night. It was all fun. But the thing I wanted to say about it for this year, we tried putting on a local channel whenever it was getting closer to midnight. We're watching whatever. It was actually showing Bun B. I think it was in Houston performing, and so we decided to just stay on that channel. But then when it actually gets down to the countdown, like the clock disappeared from the channel. And we're like waiting for it to come back up or for them to start counting down 10. And we're looking and we're waiting. And then all of a sudden we start hearing fireworks and gunshots outside the house. And like 10 seconds later, the crew was on the screen was like, "Oh, is that it? Are we masked?" And then they like all of a sudden like 3, 2, oh, Happy New Year. So we didn't even get the full countdown. We stayed up till midnight. Didn't even get to do the full countdown. Didn't Because of that. Also, we were not prepared to all toast or have anything like that at midnight. We had already had our drinks a little bit before. And even leading up to it, right up until we didn't call the kids over back to the room until just like a couple minutes before, because by that point we'd already spent several hours all together and all three kids trying to get the dogs and our friends' attention all the time. It could be a lot for several hours in a row. So I'm sure we're all overstimulated and we were definitely underprepared. And then whenever it is midnight, I'm over here trying to get up and give everybody a hug, Happy New Year. And everybody's all tired. Nobody even got up. Gave a high five, Happy New Year, hug, nothing. I'm just there looking like a damn fool standing up by myself in the living room, being stared at by my wife and our friend and our three kids. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. If we get together again next year, we got to get more on the same page here. We got to get more simpatico. We got to get... I got to have a plan. I got to talk about this beforehand. Be like, look, at midnight, we are doing this. I don't want to be left hanging again. Besides the holidays and besides the events, we've also just been trying to make sure that we fill our kids' winter break with stuff. Basically, we want to make sure that we're not just hanging around the house doing nothing all day long, every day. I want to do that. We did that some days. It was my goal to do that some days, but we always try to keep them busy, to give them experiences. And this year was no different. So we went to the zoo one day. That's one of our favorites. We had another day where the kids got to go out just to ride their bikes on a trail and go out to a different park that we don't normally get to go to. Had another time where the kids got to go shopping and spending their Christmas money. Oh, this was another thing. This year is the first we've kind of introduced them handling their own money, trying to teach them how to handle it, giving them allowances, also allowing them to earn earn extra money by doing different work around the house. But so that also means this was the first year that we gave them money for Christmas. So they were excited to be able to have one of their days be a shopping day. Also had two movie theater trips with see Zootopia 2 and Avatar 3. We were hoping to try to fit one more in to either see Wicked or to take the kids to see Predator Badlands, but we just ended up feeling we were actually going to fit that one in on New Year's Eve earlier in the day, but we ended up just not being up for it. And then the following on New Year's Day, we definitely did not feel up to trying to fit in a movie. So that one slipped through the cracks. But the kids got extra grandparent time, extra cousin time, and I mentioned they even closed out the vacation yesterday. Their last day off of school, they got to have their cousin come over and visit and play with them. So we succeeded in keeping them busy throughout the 2 weeks and keeping ourselves busy throughout the 2 weeks. And yeah, that's why I ended up never really being able to find the energy. I found there was a couple of times where I had pockets of time, but I never had the energy to follow through with recording those episodes last week because of all of these activities and enrichment of my kids' lives that I've been doing. But the kids are back in school, which means I am back to regular work, not vacation work. So life is going to start normalizing for me again, at least hopefully, for a little bit of time. And I want to tell you guys, I want to end this episode by telling you what to expect moving forward. I have decided that I am going to go ahead and turn the NFL playoffs into a full arc of episodes for me. I am going to start that this Friday. Instead of having a deep dive, a conventional deep dive or interview that I would normally have this Friday, I'm going to open up that arc by just telling the story of the NFL season and kind of set up the teams that did make the playoffs, talk about them as characters of the story, and try to give context for the following weeks, because every week after each week of playoffs games, I'm going to kind of tell the story of the NFL playoffs this year. Mostly those are going to be on Tuesdays, but this week, for the first week, Friday's episode is going to be the end of the regular season, right before the playoff episode. And then after that, like I said, Tuesdays, I'm going to be doing the NFL for this month. On Thursdays, we are back to regular episodes of the Newsish. It should be, from now until the foreseeable future, I don't see any Thursdays being off. It will mostly be me and Trisha together. Whenever there's a time if she can't do it or if I can't drive, then I will still bring you Newsish on my own. But that, for now, looks like it's going to be marching on for a while without any interruptions. And I do have a couple of interviews lined up to bring you later on. I have a couple of I have at least one world view interview where I can talk to a person. I'm going to talk to Jericho, if you've heard his life interview, and he's going to explain what he means whenever he says he believes in La Santa. The way I see it, the life interviews is a way to get to know a person through their experiences and talk about what shaped who they are. And the world interviews is a different way of getting to know somebody. It's a way of getting to know what their character is, what their belief system is like, what they really see when they look at the world. I do also have a couple of life interviews scheduled to be recorded. I'm not sure when those will be released just yet, because I do have a couple other deep dives. I'm going to be continuing my educational series and do a deep dive on the TEA takeover of different districts, including Fort Worth ISD. I'm also going to be doing my own personal life interview. I'm going to be releasing that in either one, or it might even be two parts, but I'm going to tell my full story the same way I ask guests to tell theirs. That one's definitely coming out this month, pretty soon. I also plan to tell you guys at some point what it was like to be a Make-A-Wish kid. I'm going to talk about my time in college, learning philosophy. I have several other topic specific deep dives that I'm going to be getting to, and a couple of different types of chills, different creative things that I'm going to be trying out here the next couple months. So if you like me but don't like a particular type of episode, feel free to skip it and just listen to my next one. Don't feel any pressure to think that if you're a fan of my show, you need to take in every single thing. If you like me enough that you want to take in everything, by all means, go for it. But I know that I know that not everything I make is going to be for everybody. Hopefully, I make enough of something that you like that keeps you coming back to me, though. For today, though, that's all I got for you. I've been wanting to tell you guys this stuff if I want to form this relationship with the audience that I want to have, I think it's important for me to every now and then recap my life and tell you guys a little bit about what's going on. And just as a show and the seasonally, hey, look at this as my New Year's show. This is my look behind and my look ahead. So I'll catch you on Thursday with the newsish and on Friday to talk about the NFL. Until then, remember, you only got one life to live. You might as well enjoy it while it lasts.